don't want to go to that hospital. It scared me not to go, but you so many of them. I'll say what's wrong with healthcare. Mental health too. It doesn't work. It doesn't. It's not working. We can force people to get off drugs. That's not gonna work. We tried that. You know, put them in a room and you get off this. How about this? I had post-traumatic stress. Well, I'm a trauma therapist. I wouldn't trust a psychiatrist who has little knowledge in PTSD. Look at this situation. I told them I can't come here, but they manipulated me. My brain is shut down. I got no housing because they stole it. I came back to get some housing, get some help. They shouldn't have come here. Our hospital, my mother used to work there. I'll tell you what's wrong with it. It doesn't work. I had to go to the administrator. Oh, I didn't go to the administrator. I went to the hospital. Liaisons. They were terrible to me. I've been studying natural health, and I've been looking at maverick doctors that aren't in the ivory towers keeping people well. I'm talking about men and women that are mavericks, getting away from the ivory tower system one way. So the first thing I noticed, I've studied trauma therapy from California, from Arizona. Well, I got trauma. So they say your body locks down, the autonomic nervous system. But they don't ask that. They just see on the floor and illness. Well, we know the brain shuts down the mind. Part of it is the psychiatrist almost killed me here. I know it's trauma, but oh no, it's bipolar. That doesn't work, and it was a waste of money and almost killed me. He's an ivory tower Rockola of the pseudoscience of not looking at a person's history. Now, that's a mental health problem. Sure it is. Or is it? I'm working with Canadian military. I don't like using your sick sergeant. I don't like using your sick colonel. Because I know it's keeping them there. But I can see it. We don't know I've gone through. We have no EI to handle listening to when they dump that garbage, that's the first door open. I had no one to talk to, but I mean, horse therapy, it works. What? Mirrors the mind. Well, I started using EI to cure myself because I wouldn't trust them. There's nobody I can talk to. I tried to open up. She jumped. That's empathy burnout, and it doesn't work. Yeah, it was something that was very bad happened to me, a few things. Now, I can throw drugs in it. That doesn't work. So I told the doctor I want some CBD oil. Oh, that's bad for you. Is it? Well, that doctor over there says it works. So it's another ivory tower. I fired her. Why would I go to her? Why would I go to a doctor like that? She's in an ivory tower of friggin' studies that won't look at those studies. I've learned a lot over the years. I kitted up my knowledge from equine, of course, horse health. I'm not a veterinary surgeon. I learn online. And then I ask questions. My mother taught me that. She came out from, she was an adopted Australian from the lost generation, part Aboriginal, part white. She made it up to lieutenant in the Australian Armed Forces as a nurse. And she loved the art of learning. And I started learning her way. Ask a lot of questions. When I went to college, the biggest kicker was asking questions. You got to be a detective. What's led me into the area of economics? Questions. So nobody's helping me here. I got to go to Ottawa. I'm getting out of here. I'll die here. But I've been riding the food bank, but it's getting worse. The people will get sicker. You got to stop that free market stuff, or you got a choice to let people go on. But anyways, getting back to the hospital. I get in there, you get well, or we'll throw you in a nursing home. I mean it. You're only going to kill me faster. So they have no trauma therapy. They're burning out because they don't work right. And Napoleon Hill talked about masterminds working together. There's no emotional intelligence in hospitals. It's just rubbish here. Another thing, I looked at Alberta's system. It's better. Doctors get paid by visit. So you want to get a doctor to come out. He'll take time, slow work. Not throw a pill at the situation and throw them onto another. That was the Alberta system, and it was two-tier. I think we need a two-tier. He says, no, that's not fair. Well, this isn't working. Because people aren't looking after themselves. Blue Cross is, you pay it up front. But if you keep inflating the market and don't have a steady market, nobody goes, where ain't it? We got no food here. It's just madness. Everybody's insane. It's like one guy knows the market's crashing, you're crashing everything down, you don't know it's going to crash. Well, the hospital's an indicator of that. I had to go to the, very calmly and tell them your nurses aren't working right, your doctors are burning out. So I'm on the floor 3 days. Yeah, that's all it is. Oh, no, it isn't. It is. There's something got to be done. They'll take me to a tribunal to get money out of me. He's not listening to me. He's traumatizing me more. Maybe he should go to... Oh, hell no. Leave Canada and build my business and make money and hire a housekeeper. That's all I need. But I can't hire housekeepers if I haven't got a business running. So I call them up. Oh, we'll go on. Zoom call be all right. You would keep the appointment. You keep on putting it off. And I'm living on the feedback. Keep doing this, stupid. You got nobody in that office. So here's what we do. I'm leaving. I'll go up to Ottawa on the bus. Or he might go homeless. No, I know what I'm doing. I look at the devil. He doesn't listen to me. I'm making complaints so that these guys need to be educated more. So what happens? It's a learning to suffer. Because who did I get in with? Canadian military colonel. What's wrong, Colonel? Lupus. I shouldn't tell you this, but it's an autoimmune disorder. He's been in there for 6 months trying to fix the problem. I got him past the problem because I did my own therapy out of Canadian Armed Forces colonel. He had to dump the story that was haunting him in war zone. Now, they go over there and they go through this, but nobody wants to go there with them. Well, a police officer comes in, he's got a flag tag. Right? That protects him. Well, emotional intelligence protects the trauma therapist. He dumped it. He thought that's the first kicker. Get him out of releasing it without a judgment. Okay, you're talking to a man that's done something. You don't You got to go to the war zone. So you're an empathic. This is empathy. But empathy cannot react. It's an emotional intelligence skill. I look at him. I don't judge him because that is throwing a trigger on a Canadian Armed Forces colonel. He told me it was a Gulf War situation. I'm not going to go into details. It's horrible. But he's not a psychopath. He doesn't need those judgments. That's why I say military. No social media. These guys are idiots. They don't know. They don't care. They're in their bubble room. That's a mental illness. Social media. Men don't need to hear this garbage they're saying about it before I got the police or anybody. I'm sick of baseball. Shut it down. You guys boycott it. It's no good for you. There's other models of running business than online. But that's something a military man doesn't need to hear. Especially an honored warrior. Now, I listen. My mouth was just somewhere in the beard, but my face does not react to this. Whoa. And it's coming out there. But I don't judge him. That's the first thing. So he can release it. So listening skills, psychology, war trauma. I was observing him and what he was saying. It was like detective. The way he was reacting to people. He wasn't making sense. And it was locked down there 6 friggin' months. She's doing equine assisted therapy in Ottawa, but she didn't know how to wrap a leg. She had to rely on me. I had to give her a freebie because the government cut off the program. That's dumb. She was getting men, okay, Armed Forces back to work. That's an economic thing. Because those funds, if you can get their heads straight, there's military funds that they can get a business started, and they're pretty damn resilient once they do. Because trauma works this way. It builds up a resilience. They're leaders. They work in a lot of things. Military are good. You got a soldier or a military officer, well, he can run a damn business better than these one-trick ponies or morons that don't know what they're doing. Can you do it better, Greg? I'm telling you, I'm not smart because I didn't know about delegation and contracts. And I made people millions. Mouthful. It's all flying out there and they're getting rich. But they came to me. You made me a lot of money, those ideas. Well, I don't know how I did it. I think so I'm looking at leadership roles with psychology because that's a theater. I saw this EI therapy for myself to protect myself to help people with post-traumatic stress. Because everything I've met, I'm a Reiki master, I do treatments. And people come up and they open up. It's just trauma. Most illnesses. They're taking drugs, they're messed up. Is it their fault? No, it's not being able to open up and go to the police and go to the healthcare, go to the authorities, get these guys arrested for sexual impropriety of rape. Okay. Women. A lot of women have been sexually abused. Childhood trauma. What's fibromyalgia? You're just going to throw a pill at it? Or are you going to you can throw a pill at it maybe to temporarily lower that disorder. If we get down to the crux of it, it's an autoimmune disorder caused by probably childhood trauma. But that's where the money's costing money. It's nobody has any of these intelligent connects when they're with anything. If we put healthcare into looking at a history, we could. So I go to the doctor. She's got a young 22-year-old medical practitioner, one studying under. But she's smarter. She's smarter. Can you tell me your history of any trauma in your life? Wow. That girl's reading her books right. But the doctors aren't listening. That's why businesses don't work. That's why you have CEO burnout. No, think about it. The corporation. You know, Napoleon Hill, I read a key point. Mastermind. Masterminds are people working together. It's not the top dog, the stupid dog in the end, because that one down there has gone to university, but she's asking questions. It's integration. When one book said in business, delegation of tasks, because that's what the guy that thinks he's got good management skills has got nothing, because he won't delegate tasks. This computer here, I'm building a business and I'm off a billionaire's idea. Write it down. Any idea that comes in. Gathering, like 100 gatherers. This is sort of ADHD? Or is it hunter-gatherer? First part of being an entrepreneur, you're going to have a multi-income stream to make a lot of money. So I'm putting it all together and looking at, I don't know everything, okay? So I'm going to Australia. But while I'm there, I'm doing a lawsuit here. It's stupid. No practice. Filling out the hospital for healthcare card. And records by paramedics that was what I misspoke. That's not practice. I get some money out of that. I need a bit of tax. How am I going to live? I'm not going to live here. I'm not going to live in any Canadian private town. I'm going to have this business online. I'm going to live in hotels until I'm out of Canada. And I'll buy a place. So I integrate banking systems. I hope my county builds a good, strong economy. Because the banks are falling apart. You can throw it in credit unions, but that sticks in one place. But we can do everything online. So I'm putting this all together all of the years. What's in my healthcare now? I'm into holistic healthcare. I'm a Reiki grandmaster. So I heal myself. And I also study psychology. I'm not throwing the baby in. And I also integrate it with some of these holistic tools, like crystals, grids. You know, they sell for business people. They'll put a stone beside it. If it's a tuned crystal, they'll buy it. So I found Dropbox, two companies. I got one in Kitchener. I'll put it on there. It's crystals around the world. And I can get them. And I got another company I just found a wholesale for them. It builds the grid boards. I was looking for them. They're citrine, beautiful. They come in different sizes. So I'll drop sale it. Now I'm selling, I'm a aromatherapist with a diploma. And I'm a life coach that's certified, with the psychology of life coaching and positive affirmations to get people off thing. I've studied healthcare. Now, I'm not against medical system. I'm against things that don't work. So I'm looking at integration. I'd refer people to good practitioners, but they're hard to find in a public system. They're really hard to find. I just got to go by reference of reading things and looking at studies. Now, they said I had bipolarity, misdiagnosis, almost died. There's a company out in Calgary. I want to get in with them and offer them. They were demonizing it, the ivory tower people. But in Calgary, University of Calgary, 35 studies saying it works. Dr. Abram Hoffer is a psychiatrist. Nobody listened to him. Nobody listened to him. He's a maverick. He got out of the ivory tower, and I started working with a doctor who was doing the same thing as Dr. Hoffer. It was the niacin levels of molecular micronutritional supplementation. But ivory tower doctors, that's a lot of niacin. Yeah, but the ivory tower are throwing drugs there a lot more worse. So after Abram Hoffer, I looked at him. He was on there. They found Margot Kidder, the famous actress, homeless. And he got her back on her feet. And I said, he came out and he said, look at this. Look at the cost effectiveness of getting a famous actress back into off the street and working. Huh? Even sick and medicated is not the thing among their solutions. So what's the problem? Break down the ivory towers and start looking at other things. And there's a campaign against this. There was a horrible campaign until they took them to court and sued them and closed that game down. We got to stop that. We got to have efficient new development in healthcare. It might not always be big pharma, so there's too much of them in there. Big pharma's all right. I'll tell you, I was on the floor in my own, what, and I woke up and I was very ill. This is a lawsuit against this place. They tried to sue me. He wouldn't help me, and he triggered me last night. Why don't you go to nursing home? Listen, I was trying to get a business going here, you stupid kid, and they wouldn't help me because they're paid. They're getting votes, but it's not a democratic system. By lobbyists, I need to get working and get my business going. But I made it. It's a wonder I've been shot at because the system pays get crooks out. Cops know this. I was driving taxi. They were levering me up. Everything levers me up. I'm a tough old bastard. But that's not the way I want to be. It's survival mode. I want to be in a mode of putting things together and making them run efficiently. So I'd like to have a really nice place. I was a musician. I went back to music. Why? Well, I finally I can play guitar well. I've been studying piano for 10 years. You might, like Robert Johnson. What happened there? We learned a lot about the human brain. If you're doing enough, 10,000 hours makes you an expert, right? Mm-hmm. 10,000 makes, I play that thing. I played one night 10 hours of piano. And I started learning musical structures, scales, modals, and everything. Video with guitar and rhythmic elements that are natural. I've used drum machines that I hate them. They're not natural. I'm a blues artist. So I play guitar, electric, acoustic. I've played bass. I've now read music. I started out learning the elements of do, re, mi, fa, sol, la. Then I went to tab, but no, when you can read notation, and put it on piano and figured out the guitar and play. I was playing bass. Oh yeah, I played bass in the 70s. So my fingers. So what was I learning? Well, music is like learning multiple languages. When you play chromatic scales, you play guitar in open tunings. Everything changes. And that's a good method. It's always to keep the mind going. So I do read these books on psychology. I'm reading Blinkist. Do you ever get that? Because we think in chunks, right? They're about 20 minutes long. And they're psychological, positive psychology for business. And I'm thinking, what's wrong with this? We have no leadership knowledge, and we have no delegation, and we are not finding the gold within each educated university professional. Because we don't know how to talk to them. We're stressing down the cortisol levels. They can't think and create, and I can put that there. Well, let's hear you. So here I'm on LinkedIn, and it's a platform for business people, but it's a platform to see stupid everywhere. Tons of stupid. Professor says there's no wrong answers when you're brainstorming. Well, stupid's up there talking about brainstorming. We don't want any wrong answers. Well, how do you judge if it's a wrong answer? Just put it out there. If you want answers, ideas. No, stupid says no. There's no wrong idea. It narrows down. It narrows down to no ideas. You don't know what a wrong idea from a right idea is, boy. You don't understand that meaning of brainstorm. If I say something, and we'll put some ideas up. Yeah, that's wrong, boy. So he's King Solomon, a judge. I'd say that's not psychology of business. No, the wrong ideas. Where'd you get that from? A PhD in psychology. It's in business. Oh. And listen to them. I don't read books. Oh. But you're in sales and marketing. Well, that doesn't make sense. You don't read nothing. You know who made it? Let's talk who sells things. Dale Carnegie. Well, that's old. Well, I look at Dale Carnegie. He was selling insurance when nobody knew how to sell insurance because it's not a tangible asset. It's just not. They never thought about it before. And what's Warren Buffett, Omaha, insurance? Those boys made money. I don't know where this is going, but you got to be versatile. And I'm reading Carl Newport. Carl Newport's a technologist that says social media is the problem, not the solution. And you're talking about throwing drugs in for ADHD with attention deficit disorder called social media. Are you sure? Well, listen, I'm in the park. There's a waste of time there. 5 years of computer science, 29 years old. I lost my job. Why? I can't focus. I got ADHD. Do you use social media? Yeah, it's part of technology. It's part of the problem. He forgot everything. I had to take him back. What's this rock made of? You're taking me back to 101 quantum reality. Ah, you forgot that? I'm just starting to remember. That's how bad ADHD is from social media. It's an addiction because they put clicks in there. We got a trauma problem. Listen to this. If this is an opioid hit, these likes, why do we have a drug related problem? You talk about gateway drugs, you're talking about, yeah, it is a gateway drug, the meth, opioids, extreme drugs, and even sexual perversion. Listen to this. She's on social media getting these clicks, clicks, clicks. She's never bored until she gets bored and then she says, I'm bored. So I see these other posts come on there. I got a vanilla boyfriend and I like latex, whips, and golden shower because he's just vanilla. I can't find no love. We got a whole pickup culture of girls now. Because I like the multi-flavored. So I go in the bar there and he hands me a card. Everything's synchronicity. Yummy. This is this. I said, hey, I usually like vanilla and chocolate. I don't know much of chocolate. But, cherry's nice. He says, no, I got 110 ice creams. Well, I'll make them out of all those other ice creams. Now read her blog on here. Kink. Oh, they text all this stuff. And you want to bar there? He says, I got a girlfriend, man. Young guy says, I love her, but she wants me to whip up. Look where you go. So what is this? I can't get no something. Then we're getting back to Buddhist psychology. No satisfaction, a lot of stones. We got a problem. We got a social media system that never fulfills any needs. It's the fire started. It was used by .com. Bubble boys that opened up a disaster. So we got a hyperinflated economy, probably because of social media. So what can you do? Get off social media and start learning ways to slow down this cognition. So yesterday I'm looking at all these moles. You gotta write an article on this. Because my brain's going a little faster than the labor fork. It seems like I want to finish this. You know how long it takes to do the labor fork? It should take over an hour. But your mind's rushing ahead, and you're sort of mirroring this cognitive going ahead of yourself. It's an ADHD that we all have. You're ahead of yourself, but you want to get out of this? No. You have to use the breath, the movement of your feet on the ground, slowly walking. I've been teaching how to use this labor method, kiss or stay meditation. TM, yeah. So I was learning Erickson hypnosis. This is useful. And the doctor, psychologist says, sort of like transcendental meditation. It's got very similar points to it. And it's to put you into a state of mind. The traditional hypnosis, but for phrasing, our voice, our talking to get you down. See, my legs are crossed. Well, I say to a woman, uncross your legs. Oh, no, you say, put your feet on the ground like that. And then there's no sexual impropriety or anything taken wrong. You got to make that woman feel comfortable. You're not perfect. But that's what he said. And I started thinking on it. Because we're trying to ground the person. And the way I teach grounding, if they think I say, your feet pinch the roots going to the ground, even though you're on the 15th floor. You feel energy's going to the ground. It's just a process. Anyways, that's one of the methods. So I'm not just a one-trick pony. I put tools together of, say, cognitive behavioralism, neurolinguistics, everything. And I want packages. So I'm putting this all together. And I got thinking, I'm offering a lot. But they can have it, and it's permanent, and they got it, like emotional freedom technique. It's a one deal. Take the course. Once you got it practiced, you own it. That's the way manufacturing is. And it's sustainable. They'll always have that, so it's gone. So it's not chasing the buck. You've offered a hook. But you've got to offer more services. So some of the stuff I'll put on here is drop shipment sale goods in holistic. And I might delegate it to a healthcare store or anything. But I'm getting wholesaler licenses. And I'm online. I'm just going to have a computer. I'll probably use an iPad Pro because it's portable. And I'd like to integrate it. I want my clients, if they can afford them, to get Apple Watch. I want them to fill out forms and see the benefit of what it's doing. Mood charts, everything. Those iWatches, you can put a mood chart on there and see the variances of what's happening. You know, a doctor, you come back, yeah. But are we doing some doctors might be doing this. A lot don't. They just throw a pill at it. You want to see progress in people. You go to a gym, I'll weigh you. I'll measure you. That's another form of healthcare. And you can do it yourself. Like I got Apple package. I'm not packaged with Apple. There's Apple Health, which is a whole complete meditation, exercise, everything on that. You got the Apple TV, everything's on one deal. What's wrong with that? That's a package of something that works. Apple Watch works. Me, I make forms that you look at. We go over it. Does this work? Yeah. I didn't believe this, but I go into a really high-end restaurant, and she's a wealthy woman. And at age 56, she wants help. Because I can go out, buy wine, get drunk all the time. But it's not, I can have a bit of wine now, enjoy it, and know the limit, and eat really good food, take my dogs anywhere. I got money. So she pays a lot of money to a Reiki practitioner in Toronto. Not a Reiki practitioner. Gives her forms and she reviews them, and then she gauges her health. And she says, "It's incredible. I feel great." I'm going to tell you something. She's integrating her own regime. The Reiki energy is probably cutting down her and encouraging her to look after her. Go to gyms, go out dancing, enjoy your life. Because the cognitive function is locked down. Once you start to hook up a ball rolling of health, you're feeding other resources, building an economy. She's going to a gym, she's buying sports gear, she's making people money in this whole gamut. But a one-trick pony doesn't work. Keeping people perpetually sick and not knowing anything. Now, I'm not against healthcare. I think we need it. Vaccines, but what do we call it? We have to have research on it. But look at the arguments. And look at the way COVID happened. There's a lot of young people that are coming out with conspiracy theories because of this stupid thing, social media. But how can you, what are we learning? There's so much fake news, even on YouTube. But who cares? I'm always knowing where I am at. Maybe I got dementia. How do they measure dementia? Tell me, how do I analyze dementia? You might tell me I have dementia because you're a liar. So I read the psychology of lying. I pause it and say, could you say that again? And the story changes. That's the psychology of lying. Interesting, isn't it? Like I was walking home, I was thinking about that. She smoked a lot of weed or something, but she's got a way to get rich. She's Lady Diana's daughter, and she's going to sue King and his girlfriend, Lady Camilla, for a lot of money. That's an idea. You know what I mean? Fiction. Oh yeah, conspiracy theorists all around here.